Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your September 2021 monthly TWitWoW Q&A. It is the 63rd edition of TWitWoW monthly Q&A, and I gotta tell y'all, it's a light load this month. It's been a long time, maybe even since like our very first or second Q&A, since we've had this few questions. Only 21 questions total this month. A lot of people just kind of said, I got nothing, and that's fine. Y'all don't have to ask your questions. It's not like an obligation by any means. You not asking questions doesn't bother us at all. It's a lighter duty for us, a lighter load for us. And we enjoy answering questions, but we also enjoy getting out of here nice and early. So it's a win-win as far as we're concerned. John, how you feeling about this?
I'm feeling fucking great, man. Let's get to our first question.
Our first set of questions are from Hypothesis. First up, if faces are good, heels are bad, and tweeners are neutral, what term would you use to describe lawful or chaotic?
That's a good question, actually. Or chaotic.
So lawful, I'm thinking like right to censor, or like I guess, yeah, no, I don't know. Right to censor is the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of lawful. But like, what catchy, quippy word would work for that type of act? Kurt Angle, when he was like early on in Kurt Angle's career, when he was like all like goody goody, but like a dick about it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's a synonym for lawful that's like quippy and could work in like a wrestling context if we transposed it in that environment.
I almost feel like it has to be a body part, but it doesn't. Because I'm thinking like lawful, goody goody, Boy Scout. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Teacher's pet.
Maybe
Maybe just pet.
Yeah, pet's good. I like that
Yeah.
as shorthand.
Yeah, because we've got a face, we've got a heel, we've got a tweener, we've got a pet. A pet is like a way to describe like that douchey, goody goody, kissing up to the GM, like that type of characters. Like, yes, they're very lawful. And like even like a face could fit that, because like John Cena, I would say, is like a pet in this instance. Um, but he's obviously meant to be a face. He's just somebody that you and I don't really connect with on that level. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, exactly.
So I think pet works for lawful. Chaotic though, that we can probably have more fun with that, right? Like maybe a Taz, like a Tasmanian devil. A Taz can be the chaotic one. Like a that actually works because like when I think of like a chaotic wrestler, I think of like Moxley, and describing him as a Tasmanian devil fits pretty damn well as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would certainly agree there.
So a pet and a Taz. I
Yeah.
like that. That's kind of fun. I dig that.
Yeah, I dig it too. Like you said, it's short and quippy, which I struggle with. It's not just like words in general. It's more like a particular type of word that I
Succinct.
usually
Yeah,
struggle with.
exactly.
Yeah, succinctness. All right, next question.
All right, next question. Do you think New Jack would have made it to the WWF if the Attitude Era happened a few years earlier? I think not.
Um,
I have my doubts.
I'm gonna qualify this as yes, but a very watered down version of New Jack. That's palatable to their idea of attitude, but like still not ECW. Oh, we're gonna do crucifixions in the middle of the ring attitude. So yeah, I think he would have, and maybe he would have taken the money. I don't really know much about New Jack the person or his business dealings. I have to assume that a good contract's a good contract, but I think it definitely would have been a watered down version of New Jack. So I'm actually going to say yes on this, but a very qualified yes.
I think that would have been a situation where like Vince would have taken one look at him and been like, "You are not worth the headache," and just been like, "Pass."
Yeah,
Because
I can
like
understand that.
there's like a certain like value proposition that goes on in an employer's mind every time he thinks about hiring someone new, and it's like, is this person worth financially whatever potential baggage they may bring to the table, negatives, problems that they might bring to the table. And I think with New Jack, I just feel like Vince would see him and be like, "You're not going to make me any money. You're not that hot of an act, and like you have all this outside of wrestling, like personal life shit that you're going to bring to the table that we just don't need on our plate right now. So I think he would pass hard on New Jack.
That's fair. That's understandable.
Yeah. All right. So up next, third and final question from Hypothesis. This was originally like a weird CM Punk WWE AEW cahoots question that he ended up changing because he was high when he typed it. The new question is, if the ruthless aggression and PG eras are akin almost to the golden age of wrestling, which is like the mid 80s to like maybe late 80s, and the reality era / new era is akin to the new generation era, which is like the HBK, um, Bret Hart era of WWF in like the early to mid 90s. Could the next era or two be more like the Attitude Era, which are what came after the New Generation era?
Possibly. I mean, there's already been talk of NXT, wanting to be an edgier product. You see people dropping S-bombs. Hell, Bobby Lashley called Big E a chicken shit without being censored on the pay-per-view last night. Now, I don't necessarily think like, oh, so-and-so said a swear constitutes edgy, right? I mean, maybe for the younger audience, the people that are like in their adolescence, not quite making that transition to adulthood, they might be like, oh, they can swear now. But I mean, it's possible if they're opening that door. I think they're seeing what they can get away with right now. But I think if it's a long leash, so to speak, maybe we could see that, but just in a more modern context of what would classify as attitude. What do you think, man?
I don't think we're ever going to get another Attitude Era. There was a time that I did, and John can even attest to this. In like 2011, 2012, I was constantly talking about how like we're going to get a new Attitude Era in 2020. We're going to get a new Attitude Era in 2020 because I thought like it was like cyclical, right? And I kind of saw similar parallels to you. And I kind of saw it as like the PG era, which is what we were in at the time, was kind of like that, the golden era. And then we would have like the new generation era would be like the late 2010s, and then the Attitude Era would hit around 2020. I thought for sure that was going to happen, but here's what changed. Here's like my big thing and why there's very, very little to no chance that we're ever going to get anything ever like the Attitude Era ever again in WWE. There's actually quite a few reasons. One reason, and really my biggest reason, is that the quality of their product no longer determines how much money they make from their product. It doesn't matter how good their product is. It barely matters how many people watch it. At the end of the day, right now, their revenue streams are coming from contracts with the channels that they're showing their shows on, and they're still uncontested at the top of the game in those categories. Like they are still number one on Monday nights on cable, number one on Friday nights on cable. That's uncontested. There's like no one even close to them. And then the Saudi shows are paying them, like we've already discussed this. We've said this a few times now. The 3 or 4 or 5 or however many Saudi shows that they've done so far have already generated the WWE more revenue than every WrestleMania up to and including 35 combined. So like,
yeah, exactly.
The quality of their product does not matter to their income anymore. So it really, like the reason the Attitude Era existed in the first place was because they were fighting and losing the war with WCW. And they decided, okay, we need to win this war. So we need to go edgy. We need to go Crash TV. We need to go Jerry Springer show. We need to be edgy. We need to have more swearing. We need to have tits and ass. We need to have blood. We need to have stuff that is going to draw in college kids to watch our product so that we can get that lauded 18 to 35 demographic to watch our damn show. That's why the Attitude Era happened. Right now, they don't need to worry about that shit. They have themselves set to a point that even though, yes, AEW exists and AEW is coming close to WWE numbers as far as viewership-wise, they're not real competition yet. They could become real competition, but they're not yet. And even if they would become real competition, the WWE has a loyal 35 to almost 40-year loyal fan base that is going to keep coming back. Like, even if they lose us, the millennial generation, it doesn't fucking matter because in 10, 15 years, they're going to bring back everyone that we love today that didn't get pushed as much as we wanted to today and push them because then they'll be the legends that are getting pushed today, like Goldberg. 10, 15
Right,
years
yeah.
from now, 10, 15 years from now, we'll be seeing the likes of like fucking The New Day and, fucking Keith Lee and like the guys that we love now that aren't getting pushed as much as we want, which obviously isn't the case for Big E's the champion, but you know what I mean. They're going to start coming back for big paydays, like the way that Goldberg and Brock and stuff do like right now. And so that'll be what keeps us around or brings us back. Is they're going to start randomly pushing the older guys that are currently guys that we like. And then there will be a whole new generation of people that want to see younger guys get pushed that don't. Like, it's cyclical right now. And it's not cyclical in the way I thought it would be. I thought it would be cyclical in the sense that, like, oh, this new generation era is going to shit the bed, so they're going to have to turn it up with the Attitude Era style booking. No, that's not actually what happens. They just are going to have new cycles of legends to bring back. Like Cena. Cena popped ratings when he was back. He's only been retired for like, what, 3 years, 2 years, not even? And he's already coming back and popping ratings once a year now. How long before the same thing starts happening with Orton? Or, with Becky Lynch? Like, she's back, but we don't know for how long. She's a mom. She's not going to want to stick around forever. Or with Charlotte fucking Flair. I'm not a fan of hers, but she's got name value that WWE created out of thin air. So, like, they are going to be a self-perpetuating machine. I don't think they're ever going to die. And they might sell. I think it's very possible that they sell to Disney. And if they do, then there's even less of a chance that we'll ever get another Attitude Era because Disney sure as shit ain't going to do it. And I think because of the fact that their revenue isn't tied to the quality of their product anymore, I don't think there's any reason for them to do an Attitude Era ever again. So as much as I would love to buy into this cyclical thinking, and I literally did at one point, I just can't anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a very substantive and respectable position. All right, I really can't add anything to that hasn't already been said. So let's continue.
All right, let's continue. Up next, let's talk about Super Blues questions. His first question: how do you feel about Caillou getting canceled in January, only to be put back on TV by Cartoon Network in September this month?
May I take this one?
Yes.
We were so close. We were so close to a perfect fucking game. But I know. Look, if Arthur's taught us anything, I don't even have a problem with Arthur, to be perfectly clear. It's that everything dies eventually. And, I could be frustrated and angry that whiny, bald, little worthless fucking shit, sorry, is still on the airwaves, but I've just got to wait it out, man. I've just got to wait it out. We've all got to wait it out. Sooner or later, Caillou will be definitively canceled, never to be brought back. And you know what? To all the parents out there that bravely say, I'm not going to raise my child on Caillou because I'd like my child to be something other than an incessant little shit, I salute you. And we just got to play the waiting game. So fuck Caillou. Keep that energy up. Sooner or later, he'll stay down for good. So that's all I want to say about that.
I have literally nothing to add. I will say, are they actually bringing the show back, like reviving it, like paying someone to make more episodes, or is it a syndication thing?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Ashton. I don't know, and I don't want Caillou in my search history, so I'm really apathetic about finding out.
Okay.
If I'm just keeping it 100 with you. So,
It's reruns. We're fine. It's reruns.
Oh. See, so it's just...
The show is still canceled. It's just going to be on TV forever, which I think we expected already.
Yeah, and I haven't watched Cartoon Network in God knows how long, so it really doesn't affect me. And all the parents that are sensible and they're like, actually, no, I'm going to stick to Yo Gabba Gabba, Arthur, and other things that don't permanently damage my fucking child. Again, you the real ones. Congratulations.
Again, I say.
Nice.
All right, up next, we have a second question from Super Blue. If TWitWoW was a spin-off of Yugioh, what would it be like?
Oh, God. Given that I've watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh recently,
I feel like we would have wrestling-themed monster cards.
Yes. I want you to be either the main protagonist or antagonist. I don't really care which one.
I would need to be the antagonist for sure.
I'm just imagining.
Dude, I was an asshole when I played Yu-Gi-Oh with my friends. I was that dude that Oh, you have 100 life points yet left? Let me stack all of these magic cards to put my crazy powerful monster up to like 6,000 attack points and just crush your soul.
God, I'm just imagining you in a duel with somebody, and now that I've consolidated the New Day's push, I'm ready to attack your life points directly with Kofi Kingston. Sorry, Mark. I activate my Brock Lesnar trap card, and it just fucking demolishes them. And now I'm gonna book myself to attack your life points direct. I can't do it. It would be the greatest fucking thing to ever happen to my face since birth. Oh my
You've
God, it'd be
activated my
wonderful.
trap card. This is Beheading. It's a Lucha Underground type trap card that murders whatever monster you just attacked me with.
Yeah, dude, yes. Oh God.
That would be a lot of
It's
fun,
like,
though. We need somebody who has a lot of time and creativity on their hands to make Yu-Gi-Oh style pro wrestling cards with a TWitWoW twist.
dude, like I'm even just thinking of another card, like Magic Card Flourishing Promotion. It's almost like a field spell / like equip thing. And
I
it's
fully buy into it as a field spell already, because in these duels, each duelist would basically represent their own wrestling promotion, and it's perfect.
Exactly. So this field spell, let's just say, like for every wrestler that's part of this promotion, they get 500 extra attack points, and then somebody would just.
Oh my God! I just thought of something. Instead of trap cards, they're called swerve cards.
Amazing. And then the equivalent to me of like the Crush Card Virus would be like a Vince Russo booking card, and you like sneak it into their fucking deck. So now that like Vince Russo is in your promotion writing for it, all those attack points your wrestlers gain just plummet immediately every turn. No, what are they doing? What is fucking what's Shockmaster doing on the playing field? Oh, didn't you know? When the Vince Russo card's in your deck, your entire promotion gets infested with shitty booking. Thus, your PowerPoint boost just goes immediately down the fucking toilet.
Oh God, I love it. Hypothesis said Beheading does double damage to reptile cards. And I would even add, if you have one monster or god type card in play, this can become an equip item that increases his attack by 700 points.
God, it'd be amazing. And then every duelist would be so overly opinionated about
yes.
It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect.
I want Jackie to have a Stardom themed deck.
Yeah. Oh my God. Please. I would want that fucking deck. Give me that shit. Yeah. It'd be amazing.
I'm more trying to fit us into like the stereotypes of the show. Like obviously, if I'm the fucking Pegasus or Kaiba, you would have to be either the Yugi or Joey. I don't know who our Yugi would be. If you'd be the Joey, I'll let you pick. But like then Jackie would be like the fucking Taya. You know what I mean?
No, I would have to be the Joey because I make the most outlandish predictions. Like, because he always relies on luck with his fucking deck.
I kind of. Do you agree with me that I feel like our Yugi would be Alex Foster or Abel?
Oh, absolutely. Like one of them, yeah. I'd prefer Foster only because like I know he's a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan, and like this would be like right up his alley. And he wants a
Abel gives off amazing, supportive, best friend character vibes. Foster gives off full-blown protagonist vibes for sure.
Absolutely. Oh God.
Oh my God. This is fun. I want this to be a thing.
Yeah. Oh God, if we had the ambition and the ability, we could make that a Patreon goal. Get us up to this amount and we'll do our own TWitWoW Yu-Gi-Oh card game, but I wouldn't even fucking know how to like do something like that. Like, okay.
All right. Let's get to our third question from Super Blue. This is just for me. How do you feel about the college football season so far? I gotta tell you, Super Blue, it's fucking weird, man. I don't really know how to feel about it. I don't like how bad some of the hyped quarterbacks have been this year. Literally, like 3 of the top 4 hyped quarterbacks going into the year have just played like shit. Specifically, Sam Howell has been mediocre, and then Spencer Rattler has been like meh, like mediocre also, and DJ Uiagalelei has played like absolute garbage this year. It is embarrassing how bad Clemson has been without Trevor Lawrence. And like, I just don't know how to feel anymore. Like, I feel like Iowa State has been so disappointing because like, oh, Brees Hall's so amazing, but Brock Purdy's playing like shit too. And like, I don't know, man. It's really frustrating because there are a lot of guys that I was really rooting for to succeed this year that are just not at all coming close to succeeding. It's frustrating. It's disappointing. I've been more into the NFL this year than college, and I fully expected to be more into college than NFL. I will say I'm very excited for tomorrow or for Saturday night, Ole Miss, Alabama. That I think is my most anticipated game of the season so far by a pretty decent amount. I love the quarterbacks for both of those teams. I will say also Bryce Hall. Given that we've got so many disappointing quarterback performances from hyped up guys, Bryce Young has been a really pleasant surprise for Alabama. He's throwing the ball other than Mac Jones last year, Bryce Hall has thrown more passes per game than any Alabama quarterback since John Parker Wilson in 2007. And that team was garbage. And they were constantly losing. So JPW had to throw passes to try and mount those comebacks. Whereas Bryce Young's Alabama team has been constantly leading. They literally have not trailed at all at any point through 3 games. They are that dominant. He is that good. And I love that Saban is putting so much on his shoulders already as, I want to say, a true sophomore. I'm very excited for Bryce Young's future. I know he's not eligible next year, but I'm still really excited about him as a prospect. That all said, though, yeah, I think the best way for me to sum up this college season is that it's just weird. I'm still rooting for Matt Corral to win the Heisman, be the #1 overall pick next year, maybe even sneak Ole Miss into the playoffs and do well there. We'll see. But at the end of the day, yeah, the college football season's just been weird, man. It's been weird and frustrating, I'll say that. 4th question from Super Blue. How could you root for those Diamond Mine scumbags after they screwed Kushida out of his Cruiserweight Championship? And this is for both of us, John.
Oh my God.
He's never going to learn,
Super
is he?
Blue. No, Super Blue, I really do think about that, what's become a meme from the show SpongeBob. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Except you're not an old man. You're just Super Blue, which is somehow both your name and miraculously an adjective at this point. Oh, God. Okay, so let me explain something to you. All right? Kushida, how can I put this? Not wanting necessarily to turn up. He sucks. Yeah, that's definitely the most straightforward to put it. He sucks. And Malcolm Bivens, who is fucking daddy material all the way down, he has to make money. You understand that he runs a business, right? You understand that this faction, this is Bivens Enterprises, a part of a much larger conglomerate, right? And so who cares? Who cares that Kushida got screwed? He'll be fine. He'll be fine. But Bivens needs to make that money. Are you trying to take food off of his table? Are you trying to take it out of his mouth? Who's really the bad person now, Super Blue? Us for applauding a man in his entrepreneurship and bringing these people together and making that money in a capitalist shithole? Or you for being like, but my guy lost, though, even though he doesn't have nearly the same investments. Listen, I'm going to tell you this one time, and I don't think I've ever told you this before in my life. For the love of God and my face, which is far more important, simmer the fuck down, okay? Simmer down. That's what I have to say about that. Malcolm Bivens forever, Diamond Mine forever. Work, train, perform, become, whatever the fuck. Just do it. Just do it.
All right, I dig it. Oh, you know what? I apologize, Super Blue. We actually skipped his second question. That's my fault. But his second question was, if Eva Marie had returned with her 2016 heel gimmick, would it have made any difference with her current run?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I want to say no.
It would have made a difference in the sense that it wouldn't have gotten anyone else over. So yeah, it would have made a negative difference, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Because if you remember, her 2016 shtick was the whole like not showing up and not wrestling because of various stupid circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole voiceover thing. Eva Marie is not in the building. That whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that didn't help anyone. It was like they were trying to build her up as a heel, but it didn't actually get anyone over in a good way, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's move on now from Super Blue to Just Alex, who asked 3 questions. First up, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's WWE contracts expiring relatively soon, do you think they'll jump to AEW or re-sign with WWE?
I think Kevin Owens AEW. I think Sammy's staying put though. Honestly, I don't think they're like. I know they're very close friends and they love each other deeply, but I don't think they have the kind of friendship where it's like a package deal kind of thing, like where you go, I go. I know it's always like a fight forever thing, so I guess I shouldn't completely take it off the table. But here's the thing: I think anymore when we're asking, do you think they'll go? Just because of the rate that AEW has been scooping people up, it's like, do you think it'll happen back to back? And that I would say no. 3 years from now, maybe yes, but I do think Sammy's going to stay in WWE a little bit longer than Kevin Owens, just because I think given his advocacy and what he likes to do, why not be on a platform that's still huge, even though AEW, again, is nipping at their heels for sure. WWE is still a big platform. He still can reach a lot of people. They do a lot of outreach. Maybe he's even hoping one day, I don't know the mind of Sammy, but you never know if maybe he's one day hoping to angle like having WWE's official backing formally on one of his projects. We could run a series of Sammy for Syria ads. I actually would be very happy to see those. I don't know. But I think Sammy for him, because I think I'm also coming at this personally from the perspective that I think Kevin Owens loves wrestling more than Sammy does. Like, that's not to say about their ability. You can argue that Sammy's better than Kevin or Kevin better than Sammy, but I think Kevin Owens loves being a wrestler more than Sammy does. Because Sammy, I think you could leave wrestling no problem. Whereas with Kevin, I feel like it'd be more of a Daniel Bryan situation.
Right.
It's like, what do I do? I've lost the thing, that defines me.
That
Whereas
makes sense.
Sammy, I think would be just fine. Like, I think he'd land on his feet. I think him being injured all that time, and like I even heard, I don't know if it was Talk is Jericho or what, when I was still somewhat listening to that at the time, where he talked about, the mental state of Sami Zayn and talking about all the introspection and reflection and everything he did. I think he's discovered a lot more about himself. And I think for him, and I'm sorry I'm being very verbose about this, but I guess what I'm really trying to say is I think he would stick around because I think he understands logistically, like, I have these activist causes, I have a huge platform, so many people watch me every week, and he does a great job getting on TV seemingly every week. That's another thing too. He's in a good, comfortable spot on the card. And yeah, like, why not? Because then people who love me on TV, they may check out my Twitter. And if they check out my Twitter, the first thing they'll see is Sammy for Syria. So I think Sammy looks at himself and what he's doing is like a bigger, I hate to use the word brand because that is just such capitalist fucking garbage on it. But you get what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's good positioning for him. Whereas Kevin's like, I want to wrestle the best in the world. I want to be a wrestler. I want to be featured as a wrestler prominently. And yeah, I think Kevin's gone, but Sammy's going to stick around. That's just my opinion of the situation. So what do you think?
We definitely agree on Kevin. I think he's definitely going to AEW as soon as he can. Sammy, though, I don't know when his contract runs out. Like, I've heard, like, someone said it was coming up in the fall, and then someone else said that they debunked that it was confirmed that it wasn't in the fall. So, like, I don't know when his contract is actually up, but I will say this. If Sammy's contract runs out more than, like, a few months after Kevin's, I could see him ending up in AEW because I know he and Kevin are good friends outside of wrestling. And I'm guessing Kevin would just gush to him about how wonderful and how great AEW is as a workplace compared to WWE. So I feel like Sammy would be like, shit, man, I got to get out of here and go there. And AEW would welcome him with open arms.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with you on that for sure.
And, like,
Yeah,
of course, you also know that they would probably even set up something where Kevin's getting his ass beat as a babyface by multiple people. And then there's an angle where it's a tag team match. Kevin has a surprise guest mystery partner, and it ends up being Sam or, Generico or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just my opinion. I think if Sammy ends up with his contract running out a while after Kevin has his run out, there's a really strong chance that Kevin would go to AEW, love it, gush to Sammy about how great it is, and that would influence Sammy to want to go there then.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I don't see anything wrong with what you said. Yeah. So we'll have to see. Sammy is definitely more of a question mark, though.
Yeah.
So.
I agree that he is the bigger up in the air. I think Kevin is all but guaranteed. I think he's got a foot out the door already. Hell, he tweeted the fucking coordinates to Mount Rushmore and shit. Like, yeah, he's out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or he didn't tweet it. He put that in his Twitter profile, actually. What he tweeted was something like almost there or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Second question from Just Alex. Which show do you think will have a bigger impact on society long term? Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or Mr. Robot?
Um, okay, I haven't finished Better Call Saul, so I don't know how it ends. Like, obviously, being a prequel type series, you know in a way how it
You know
ends.
what, dude?
But
You saying that is a
yeah,
perfect jumping off point for me to make my point. Not enough people have seen Better Call Saul or Mr. Robot for those to have as significant of an impact on the world as Breaking Bad did.
that is true. You
Breaking
know, it's
Bad
funny
was
that
seen
yeah,
by like I think like 11 or 12 million people. Like it has a huge audience. And Mr. Robot and Better Call Saul's audiences combined probably don't even add up to the audience that Breaking Bad had. So as much as I would love to be here like on my pulpit saying like, "Oh, well Mr. Robot actually had things to say about society and none of those other shows did." At the end of the day, the one that's going to have more impact is the one that had the most eyes on it, and that's Breaking Bad. So I have to say that as my answer for that reason.
I think you know what, you make some solid points. I was about to come on here and be like Mr. Robot. I think over time, as society more and more pivots to what Mr. Robot said that it was going to, and already is, and in so many ways.
Yeah.
But I think when we think about like cultural transmission, like because I'll put it to you this way, because Breaking Bad was seen by so many people, that's just as many people to recommend it to another generation of people, right? When they're like, "Oh, have you ever seen Breaking Bad?" A lot of people are going to ask that question more than people that say, "Hey, have you ever seen Mr. Robot?" So when you get those initial 12 million, say, they're going to be able to pass it down to other people, will pass it down to other people,
Yeah.
and that's how it stays at the very least, even on the periphery of the zeitgeist, whereas Mr. Robot isn't even in the conversation,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So,
It is unfortunate. And it's funny too because like low key, I know you didn't include this show, but I feel like Game of Thrones is almost going to have even more of an impact because it's going to really teach people know your fucking ending before your goddamn show starts, you shit.
yeah. God, they fumbled the ball so hard. Imagine fumbling the ball
Dude,
that hard. Couldn't be us.
imagine being the most mainstream form of entertainment in the goddamn country for like 8 years. And then you fumble the ball so badly at the goal line that people don't even go back and rewatch the good seasons anymore. It's that bad of an ending.
Yeah, that's
I've
rough, bro.
never witnessed anything like the fall of Game of Thrones before in my life.
Yeah, oof. It was bad. It was really bad.
All right, third and final question from Just Alex. Thoughts on the plane ride from hell episode of Dark Side of the Ring, the sexual allegations allotted to Ric Flair and Scott Hall, and Tommy Dreamer defending them.
Okay, so I'm gonna give two succinct answers. Didn't watch it and unsurprising. I'll put it that way. Like, it's not surprising that Rick would have allegations like this because, I mean, look at what his gimmick was. Look at the time period he grew up in, and then he's like, denying. That's the way it goes. Who else did he say? He said Ric Flair. I know he said Tommy Dreamer. Who else? Scott Hall.
Scott Hall. Well, there
Scott
was this whole
Hall.
thing with Scott Hall where, like, towards the end of the plane ride from hell, the stewardess went to Scott Hall and she was telling him something, I don't even remember what. And he like grabbed her by the collar and pulled her really close, and she was like scared for her life, basically. And like there was no actual sexual assault allegations on that, as far as I know, but there is just a straight up assault allegation there because obviously he pulled her in and like freaked her out against her will and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean
A
that
lot of
too.
people
Like,
like
it is unsurprising. Yeah.
I don't remember who it was. I think it was RVD actually that said that Kurt Hennig H bombed, quote unquote, Scott Hall before the ride or at the beginning of the ride or something. And that's why he was so out of it and weird and loopy and like basically sleeping most of the time, is because he got fucking drugged basically by someone else.
So you almost have to wonder if the drugs like made him panic or just alter his brain chemistry. I mean, you don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not trying to not hold Scott Hall accountable because God knows he had a lot of fucking issues, but I don't think that should be a reason to remove agency. It's like one of the things I always a phrase I've always loved. Like, just because you might
mean,
have a mental illness or whatever doesn't give you license to be a piece of shit.
but like,
So,
if he was drugged by somebody else and that's why he was acting the way he was acting, I find it hard to not do that. You know what I mean?
right, yeah, because then the primary agent here in this situation, if we're trying to allot praise and blame and all that stuff, would be the person that drugged him. Because like that's just so categorically fucked. And then Tommy Dreamer, like, well, of course, but like to me, and I want to be careful how I say this. The locker rooms back then, they were a brotherhood in the sense of like, hey, if somebody shit talks one of us, we've all got to like rally to each other, even when it's stuff that they should be shit talked for.
Right.
Like I feel like back then, if it was like rape allegations or even fucking murders, we've seen how WWE has covered up murders.
Jimmy
Wasn't it like
Snuka.
Carlos Cole or something? Yeah, Jimmy Snuka. Yeah. So like, yeah, if one of these women says that I touched him inappropriately, like, you guys got to have my back. Like, I totally feel like that was the culture. So Dreamer, and it doesn't excuse him. Again, I want to be crystal fucking clear that anything I'm saying is not meant as absolution of any of these people. But Dreamer, of course, being reared in that culture, being, kind of molded as a wrestler in that culture, it's going to be like, oh, it was just Ric Flair being Ric Flair, which is pretty much saying it's boys being boys, which we all know was
No.
bullshit.
See, this is where actually having seen the episode helps, because that's not how it was at all. What actually went down was the woman accusing Ric Flair explicitly said he grabbed her hand and put it on him, on his junk.
Yeah.
And Dreamer basically said he's never heard anything about Ric Flair getting actually physical with anyone. He just shows himself to women. And that, like, he basically implied that this woman who said that Flair put her hand on his junk was lying.
Yeah, and that's really fucking gross. So, because I don't see like a woman who is a fucking flight attendant versus a wrestling fucking icon that's adored by the public. Then it always goes back to like the people in certain subreddits and stuff in 4chan that are like, oh, they're just trying to ruin his life or whatever, this and that. And then you even see it like a lot on Twitter in certain spaces. But it's like, really? Their life's going to be ruined when they're this adored by people compared to this one person that nobody until this knew. And now all the attention they're getting is negative. It's just so asymmetrical.
Yeah.
And to go to the side of the beloved one rather than thinking, oh, well, maybe she said this because, I don't know, it actually fucking happened.
Yeah.
It just always leaves a bad taste in my mouth, personally.
Yep. Same, man. Same. Believe me. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next.
Next question is our third and final question from Alex. Oh wait. Was that? Did I skip one? Oh no, that was all three. Okay, that was all three of Alex's questions. Let's move on. We got one from Sean. Why are some WWE homegrown talents like Roman, Braun Breaker, Bianca, Big E, so amazing, while some others, say Bianca or Nia, Charlotte, etc., are absolute trash cans? And then he also went on to kind of add, doesn't this sort of imply that it more comes down to the individual than the system itself?
How about you take this one first? I'd be curious to see what you say about this.
I feel like I've kind of preached on this for a really long time, because look, if you really look at who you just listed, Big E and Roman both got their starts in FCW. I liked FCW. I think FCW did a good job as far as the developmental stuff. It's the Performance Center shit that I have a problem with. So we're talking about people in, Roman and Big E specifically, who were wrestling before the Performance Center was a thing and didn't really participate much in that Performance Center or the culture of the Performance Center or whatever, because they were there for like maybe a year or two when it first started, before it really found its footing. And they were both on NXT almost immediately when the show itself started after FCW shut down. And especially Big E, we've got to remember, guys, Big E's been doing this for like 13 years now. Big E's been wrestling since 2008, I want to say. Let me look. Yeah, 2009, so 12 years almost. So he's been doing this for over a decade. Roman has also been doing this for over a decade. And let's be real, Roman specifically was not somebody that we would have said was as great as we call him now just 2 years ago. Roman struggled to get over as a face, and I think even if they would try and turn him now, I don't know how successful he'd be as a face. I think he's just a guy that works better as a heel, and we've known that since like 2012, for Christ's sakes, you know? So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's really unfortunate. I think here's the thing. Experience makes people better at wrestling. That's all it comes down to. Roman has been wrestling for 11 years. Big E's been wrestling for almost 12 years now. Meanwhile, you know, fucking Charlotte, Christ. Let me look up when she started. I think she got her start in like 2013, 2014, but I want to make sure. 2012. Jesus Christ, Charlotte. But here's the thing. She had no training prior to coming in, and she was one of the first people to not experience FCW. She went straight into the Performance Center. And I've been saying this for so long. The Performance Center does not teach people how to be good wrestlers. The Performance Center teaches you how to be a good entertainer because it teaches you how to cut promos. It teaches you how to stay in good shape. It teaches you how to do a few spots that fit your character, and it teaches you how to make those work as your character. That's what the Performance Center does. The Performance Center does not want to, or I shouldn't say it doesn't want to. It isn't intending to create good wrestlers. If it did, it probably would do a better job of that. All it really intends to do, though, is get people ready for TV. So that once they get onto TV, then I think the WWE kind of relies on experience over time, turning them from passable wrestlers into actual good wrestlers. It worked for The Miz. The Miz used to be a shitter. I would say before even like 2012. I think most of us would agree that Miz was not a good wrestler. But eventually he learned, he got better, he grew as a wrestler. And now I think we would all agree that he's perfectly fine, even a decent, even a good wrestler. So that experience eventually does start to help. I'm just waiting for it to happen with the likes of fucking Charlotte, because she's still just god awful. But of course, Charlotte has her fans that will tell you, oh, she's amazing in the ring. She's so good at this. She's so good at that. She's, this great seller, or, her moonsault. No one else can do that. And I'm just like rolling my eyes over here, because again, like, a moonsault isn't really wrestling. It's a stunt. And like, it looks cool, and I'm not trying to take that away from you, but the point of being a good wrestler, and this is something that has escaped Charlotte, even going back to her NXT days, the point of being a good wrestler is to make people feel something specific, something you want them to feel, not just anything. And like, when Charlotte was supposed to be this babyface champion, maybe a year into her career, maybe not even that long, she was like talking down to crowds. Like, I will never forget the first time I noticed this. There was an episode of NXT that Charlotte got a promo for, and the crowd was rowdy, and they were behind her, and they were excited, and they were loud. And she got all like condescending, like, shut your mouths when your queen is talking to you, or whatever the fuck. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're a face. And it's like, it just doesn't click in her mind how the wrestling business works, because she wasn't trained to be a wrestler. She was trained to be an entertainer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Yeah, I really don't even know what to add to that. Fuck. I think that was a better answer than I could hope to give. So I think I'm just comfortable with that. We can move on to the next question.
All right. Well, our next question is from Races Fan Rocks, and this is just for you, John. If there was a Squid Games in America, what would the 6 games be?
Musical chairs. You said 6 games?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay, I haven't finished watching the show, so again, Races, please no spoilers in the chat or anybody that's seen it, because I will kill. It's a really great show, and I'm enjoying the experience. So if there's 6 games, musical chairs. Simon Says, dodgeball. Either paintball or laser tag. We'll go laser tag.
Laser tag's
That's
baller.
4. Like your face. That's 4 games, correct?
Musical chair. Simon says laser tag. What was the other one?
Oh,
Dodgeball, right?
dodgeball, yes, dodgeball.
Okay, that's 4. That's 4.
Because I always really don't care for questions like this, but I always want to do my best with them.
This is different than what I expected, though. I thought you'd be saying like football, basketball, baseball, but this is fun too. I'm like, these feel like high school games that you'd play like back when you were a kid or something, or like.
Well, that's the whole thing with Squid Games is that the games are like games you played as a kid.
Oh.
And like I'm just trying to think of like kid.
Can
games.
I contribute?
Dodgeball's like kind of. If you want, I mean, this question was just for me, so I want to just get my 6 out first.
Kickball.
Fuck.
Did you hear me?
What'd you say?
Kickball.
Kickball would be good. I just gotta think of 2 more though.
Did you ever play kickball as a kid?
I mean, for obvious reasons, no.
Okay, when I say that though, I mean like, did like your gym classes ever play kickball?
Probably, yeah. Probably. Hide and seek.
Oh, that's a good
some
one.
weird way to fucking do that. Hide and seek. 7 Up. Yeah.
Heads up, 7 Up.
Heads up, 7 Up. Yeah.
Racist fan actually
Yeah.
kind of gave you that one. That was his question, and he gave you one of the answers.
Honestly, I was looking at I was actually looking at the mic. I didn't see that till after, if you can believe it. I swear I'm telling the truth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Man.
Weird mental uplink there. But yeah, I would go with heads up, 7 Up there. So that's my 6. And now whatever ones you want to contribute, now that I've got my 6, floor is yours. So.
Well, you mentioned hide and seek, and that immediately made me think of tag.
Yeah, that's why I had laser tag too, because like. Yeah.
So I would
laser
say
tag or freeze tag if you wanted to keep it to like kids.
Like if I had to come up with 6, I would absolutely steal dodgeball because that was like one of the most fun experiences I had as a kid. I loved dodgeball. So dodgeball, kickball, tag for me would be my first 3 for sure. Badminton would be a really fun one that I think every kid plays at family parties. Maybe like Red Rover, that's a good one. And then we already have tag. But you know what? I'm going to change tag from just tag to freeze tag.
Yeah, for sure.
And then my 6th game will be King of the Hill.
Ooh, good choice.
So yeah,
no, Mark, Capture the Flag wasn't set. I also like that one.
Oh yeah, actually, you know what? Fuck King of the Hill. Capture the Flag's way more fun. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. That was fun.
Question?
I liked that. That was a good question. I need to watch Squid Games now. Holy shit, that was fun.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you liked Parasite, you'll fucking love Squid Games.
I've never seen Parasite, but Squid Games sounds.
Well, then
fun.
you have a lot of catching up to do. Like.
Rotten Butter. Good. Rotten Butter. Question number 1. You know what it is. He said, "Do the thing."
So yeah, my family and I are currently in the process of watching Squid Games. Christy and I are watching old episodes of Wife Swap, which, man, when you do a deep dive on that show, it is fucked. Let's see, what else? God, we've, Sex Education Season 3. That's been great so far. What else are we doing? Oh, Bad Girls Club. Oh, God, Bad Girls Club. That is such an amazing fucking guilty pleasure. So I think that's all I want to say about like family time stuff. Ash and I are obviously still keeping up with MCU stuff, like What If episode. What was it that we watched? Like 2 nights ago.
8.
2 nights ago, that was great. Yeah, episode 8. It was great. 8 was great. Fucking Doom Patrol season 3. We're gonna have to catch up on that.
We've watched 1 episode so far, Rotten Butter. We need to catch up. We have 2 more to catch up on, and then I think the 3rd one comes out. Actually, the 3rd one. Wait. The first 3 dropped last week. I think the 4th one actually drops tonight, doesn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Because remember, the first one was the 23rd, so the 30th would make sense. It's a week later. I think the 4th one comes out tonight.
Didn't you and I watch like a lot of Titans this month? Because I know Titans has been a thing for us for a while.
Yeah,
but
I will say, I gotta say right now, John and I have watched both Titans and Doom Patrol. Titans does so little for me compared to Doom Patrol. I enjoy Doom Patrol so much more than Titans.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
Like Titans for me is like a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10 kind of show. Like I could take it or leave it. we catch up with it because it kind of like interweaves in the same universe as Doom Patrol, and it's not like bad or anything. It's just like I said, I can take it or leave it. Doom Patrol though, I actively look forward to Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol's like an 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10 kind of show for me.
As far as games go, Ash and I, for like a millisecond, we still haven't even resolved that issue. We got back into Minecraft. It'll be nice for me to figure out like everything there if we do go back to that, because I do have it on my computer again. I played a little bit of Golden Sun, even less this time though. I didn't even finish the epilogue. That just went awful. But then that got me back to an RPG. That sigh. I got back to an RPG. I do like Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. I've been kind of playing that on my computer.
Oh, that's cool.
So I guess there is an RPG I do like. Yeah, it's low-key been addicting. Annoying, but addicting.
Nice.
The worst kind of addictions, am I right? Music-wise, been listening to some Site of Impact. They're fucking great. Mosaic came out with an EP that I loved. Shout out to Mosaic. I fucking love those guys.
Yeah, I even listened to that one. Some of the songs were pretty cool on it.
Yeah, Intentions was my favorite by fucking far. I think
that one ended up being my favorite after listening to the rest of it then.
Yeah, I really hope I really hope that that kind of signals a new creative direction for them. I think they have so much more range than they've shown thus far. I know just last night, Eminem, Skylar Grey, Polo G, and Mosey, I think is his name, they released a track for Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage.
Ooh, dude, that's funny because literally I think Eminem actually put out a song called Venom when the first movie came out, and it was in the credits for the movie.
Yeah, his fans have even said that they hope it's a tradition now that he just contributes a song for every like Venom movie or whatever. But yeah, that song is fucking great. It's in my workout playlist now. So Skylar Grey and Eminem is always going to be a great mix. I love those two.
Dude, did you hear about Eminem as far as the halftime show this coming year goes?
Is he performing at it, or
it's going to be Eminem, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, and Mary J. Blige. Holy shit.
That's fucking stacked. Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
So yeah, that was a fucking bop and a half. I fucking love that one.
Nice.
What else music-wise? Because I feel like fucking Joyner Lucas and J. Cole came out with a song. Was it called Heartbreak? But Joyner's been doing some really good stuff. And the other one was it was called Your Heart, the Joyner Lucas and J. Cole track. Now I'm gonna be honest. I hope I don't get flamed in all directions because I don't know what like the music fandom is in our chat. Like if we've got a lot of hip hop and rap fans, if more people are like I'm more of a country guy or whatever. J. Cole is very hit or miss with me. I haven't liked what I've heard most of. However, him being featured on the Joyner track was fucking great. And then the Dreams Unfold song, which that might have even been the month prior, but I know that was also a great visual as far as the music video goes. Although Lil TJ, man, like I'm asking you, I want to understand what the fuck you're saying because every time you're on a track, I can't understand what you're saying anymore. I think somebody said you got a new producer or something. Fire him. Get somebody that knows how to mix your shit. Because I actually like him lyrically, but it doesn't fucking matter if I can't understand a goddamn thing that comes out of your mouth. So fix it. But yeah, it always just feels great to let you guys know that I am like discovering more stuff in like hip hop and rap and all that stuff because it's really been a big part of my 2021 this year. So yeah, Joyner and fucking the Eminem track and everything, just really good. I know there's still stuff that's like on a playlist for me that I haven't listened to yet, so I might mention that for next month's Q&A if I'm able to get around to it. But yeah, music was very kind to me this month with Mosaic and everything else. Oh, I also looked into the band Discrepancies. They're pretty good. I really like their song Art of War. They're a lot like Nevertell, where they're like a rock band, but they've got a rapper in there, and I think that's such a good fucking mix. So Discrepancies was another one. And yeah, you know what? I think. Oh, and I gotta say too, one of the biggest parts of my month, just rewatching some fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, and it's really taught me some very disturbing things about myself that I honestly am okay with, and that I don't want help. Mainly that I fucking love villains. That if
we knew that.
Fiction, well, I mean, no, like I'm talking seriously. Like if Bezos and capitalism and stuff like that were fiction, I would root for them the whole way. I'd be like, yeah, pollute that fucking land, extract all the fucking wealth, fuck them. Because how willing I am to support evil in fiction is a bit alarming to me, except, and I should always qualify this, I can never support Nazis in any medium. I will always support them being punched and incinerated in every medium. But if you're talking about like a fucking demon lord that wants to bring an era of darkness onto humanity, I really honestly look at it with indifference, and I'm like, well, you know, what did humanity ever do for you? Fuck them. Like, it's amazing. I love how quickly I'm willing to sell out other people just to see me have a good laugh. It's honestly one of my favorite parts about me. So yeah, I just really wanted to say that. Yu-Gi-Oh really taught me a lot about myself, and it wasn't the heart of the cards. And
so which villain were you rooting for in Yu-Gi-Oh? Was it just fucking Pegasus?
Dude, well, since you asked, and everybody can ask, again, everybody can thank you for asking me.
It was Bakura.
Yeah, definitely. It was Bakura, because like the final fucking duel where it's like the big RPG with him and Yugi in Egypt. Oh my god, dude! Like, first of all, his laugh when he gets the upper hand. Like, I love villains that are so amused by themselves that they just laugh every second when it's like, oh,
you secretly want me to become a villain.
No, I've been poisoning you this entire time. This relationship has been entirely abusive for the sole purpose of making you turn heel. I don't know how you're the last one to figure this out, but we welcome you.
Oh my god.
But no, I've got to say too, like, fucking Akhenaten. If anybody's seen that arc, and really, Foster, I'm talking to you. Let's be real here. I'm
no one else knows
talking
what the
to you,
fuck you're
Foster.
talking about.
Like when Akhenaten gets poisoned by Bakura, and like he's trying to get Seto to turn on, because, you know, again, this is ancient Egypt now. He's trying to get Seto to turn on the pharaoh and everything. It is so fucking, oh god, I gotta do it. Delicious. It's so good what happens, because, you know, he literally sells out, but like Zork fucking arises and he's like, denounce the pharaoh and pledge your loyalty to me, and he does, and it's fucking great. And like he gathers all the Millennium items and he's like, yes, the final piece, my Millennium Eye. And while he's laughing, he rips the eye out of his own socket. Baller fucking shit. And then when he transforms into the Great Shadow Magus, thus doubling in strength, because Bakura actually knows how to play the game and doesn't rely on fucking art of the cards bullshit. He's trying to incinerate the pharaoh and his friends, and I realized something. You can get me to buy evil so long as it's extra as fuck. Like, that's the key. That is the key to corroding all of my fucking principles. It's like, okay, well, here's this very serious stoic communist that can definitely save the planet. But man, that capitalist is just so fucking zany and over the top. I've got to go with it. Extract that labor, daddy. Yeah. Like, I've realized that's the key. So now I can kill it and cure it. But man, when he's trying to kill all of them and then Yugi's piece comes in, I forget what the piece's name is.
The puzzle?
But Akhenaten's all like, what was that?
The puzzle?
No, not the puzzle. It was a game token for the RPG game that we're playing. And he places it as kind of like a defense mechanism from the blast. And Akhenaten is like, who dare stands in the way of my destiny? Identify yourself. And it's fucking... Yes, I have never met an old person where I was like, okay, boomer, with all the enthusiasm and support in my fucking bones.
Just the way that you did that impression of Akhenaten reminded me of fucking Voldemort in the first Harry Potter movie when he was on the back of that guy's head. Kill him!
Oh, Foster, thank you. Thank you, because I almost forgot the best fucking part. Besides Akhenaten, who I was living for the entire fucking time. Like, him losing, honestly, was depressing to me. Zork. My man's packing... He has a dragon penis. Like, holy fucking shit. You have a dragon as a dick. How do I not root for this? Like, how do I not, like, everybody that's, like, big dick energy. No. It needs to be big Zork energy. Because
dragon dick energy.
Yeah, like he's literally 90% penis. That is amazing to me. Amazing
oh
to me.
Oh my god.
It was the greatest arc that Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters ever did.
And I've never seen it. I need to watch this now. What?
Yeah, dude, Akhenaten is extra as fuck. The RPG setting is a really cool, unique twist on a shadow game that doesn't have to do with fucking cards.
So wait, is this animation arc what that Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Shadows game you're playing is based on?
Unfortunately, no. I fucking wish, dude. Holy fucking shit. No, like, it's just, oh god, it is so delicious. It enables the worst parts of me.
Oh
It
my
feeds them. And it's I rooted for the villain the whole time, like the whole time. When the heroes won, I was honestly pissed. I'm like, fuck this. I wanted darkness to reign. Everything sucks now, and I left.
Oh my
Villains need to win too. God damn it! Show some goddamn consideration.
No.
But let's circle back to my deep psychoanalytic issues, and let's actually return to what the question was about.
Dude, you bring up your deep
Yes.
I was literally just thinking, what broke you and how do we fix it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what about your month? You take a turn now, so
I
everybody
feel
can
like
stare at
it's
you
been
instead
a
of me.
really eventful month. I feel like September was the longest month of the year for me. It's crazy. So let me look in free talk because I feel like so much has happened this month. So, okay, to summarize my real life shit, because I'm very surprised that no one asked questions about this. Maybe they just don't pay attention and don't give a shit. I'm still in the process of moving. So I we didn't have hot water in the new apartment until like 2 days ago, or it might have even been yesterday. Actually, it might have been Monday. I don't know. It was this week that we just found out that we finally have hot water in the apartment, which means that it's basically all clear for us to move in because there's really no other obstacles preventing that from happening. Except now, the bed frame that I had that was given to us by my aunt is not stable enough for me because like I'm a very restless sleeper. Like I like to like move around and shift around a lot while I'm sleeping, or at least, I'll wake up briefly enough to do that and then go back to sleep. And I tried it, like I laid in my bed and I tried shifting around and I literally heard the boards on the bed frame that I was given creaking. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to break this. So we ordered a new bed frame. Now we have to wait for my aunt and her boyfriend to come over to that apartment to take apart the bed frame that they gave us because they had to put it together. They have to take that apart, and then we have to put together the new one, which is a metal bed frame, which should support me a lot better. And it's also higher up, which is even better for me. And it doesn't have little lips on the side, which I hate and didn't know that the bed frame that they gave us had. Otherwise, we would have just gone for a different one to begin with. But once that gets sorted out, we can officially be moved in. We actually spent like a nice maybe 45 minutes just chilling in the apartment on last week. And it was wonderful. It was bliss. We have our new TV set up and everything. Everything is just good to go. It's just a matter at this point of actually being able to be fully moved in. We have packing left to do, and we have obviously a couple things left to finish unpacking in the apartment. Like we have a sofa that's literally still just in a box that needs to get put together. And of course, my bed frame and that kind of stuff. Um, all the while this is going on, we've been getting shit delivered to the house. Like I said, we have a sofa that's still in a box, just sitting in the living room waiting to be unpacked. We got a fucking water cooler that I'm very excited to start using. But of course, we also need to buy like the 5-gallon jugs now, too. So that's like a new thing added to the list of the shit that we need to take care of, that we need to kind of maintain. We finally have hot water, but we also just found out that we can't add any kind of extra thing to the sink because my mom wanted to add this like new like sink faucet head that would have made it spray more of like a spray, like a shower spray, so that she could use that to wash dishes. We just found out that's not even an option because of the rules in the apartment buildings. We have, I'm hoping that it's not going to be a problem for us to change the shower head to the one that you bought for us, for my mom for Christmas last year.
All right.
Yeah, hoping that won't be a problem. We'll see. Honestly, that's something that I would rather ask for forgiveness and just do it than ask for permission to do it. Um, we are like we're moving from a place that is like 15 minutes away from my PT to like 2 minutes away, maybe 3 minutes away from my PT. So as long as I'm still going to PT, that's going to be a lot more convenient. There's also a dentist out there that my mom wants to try and get into. I don't even know if they take her insurance yet. We haven't called about it yet, but there's like, again, if she gets into there, it's like a 3 or 4 minute drive away. There's a new grocery store, not new, but a different grocery store out there than the ones that we usually go to out here that has chocolate milk in it that is even better than the chocolate milk that I've been drinking for the last few years. So I'm happy about that. Plus, they have chocolate toaster strudels there, and I cannot find them anywhere else. Not even Walmart has chocolate toaster strudels, and yet it's at this other new grocery store that we're going to be able to go to at this new place. So like that's like a big nice thing for me too. Um, um, so and like the thing is too is like we have an air fryer now, and we kind of talked about that the other week. It might have even been, I don't even remember when that was that I brought that up, but we have an air fryer now, so that's going to be a really cool thing for us to start using. We really want to start cooking from home more and eating out less because we don't have a proper kitchen where we currently live and where we've been living since like 2009, 2010-ish. Um, so like we've basically been using like a shitty little 2-burner fake stove that plugs into the wall to cook shit and the bathroom sink to wash dishes. It's horrible. We hate it. We're so happy to be moving out of it. And we finally have like a proper kitchen now with an actual stove, with an actual oven, with an actual kitchen sink. And I know my mom's very excited about it. I'm stoked about it because I have got like the cooking bug that bites me at least a few times a year that makes me want to start trying new recipes and stuff. I want to start making stuff that I know I can make, like eggs and bacon and burgers and French toast that kicks ass. Like I'm stoked to start going back to cooking the stuff that I used to cook, and like I'm just very excited about moving. And then as far as my like experiences, like my entertainment that I've been consuming, music wise, I have discovered so much music that I like. Let me actually go to my playlist. There's a playlist, and you know what? That's probably easier for me to share the playlists that I've been into rather than sharing individual artists. So playlists that I am really like pretty good about being on top of. Today's top hits, which really that's like a once a month check in for me because it changes so little over time. Pop Rising is one that I spend a lot more attention paying attention to. Dear Diary is like a pop punk kind of emo-y kind of playlist, and I dig it a lot. It's a lot of fun. Excuse me. And then the big one is Voices for the Unheard, which is a playlist made by the Nova Twins that consists of black artists, black music artists, black bands. You know, like it's like the big ones that I've really enjoyed. I actually sent to you, John. I've literally been like trying to keep you updated. Meet Me at the Altar is great. They're actually signed to Fueled by Ramen. It's the same label that signed like Paramore and fucking Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy and like all of those big like pop punk emo type bands from the early to mid 2000s. Same label. Meet Me at the Altar is now signed to. Very excited about that. Um, the one that I really like, it's like it reminds me a little bit of Rage Against the Machine mixed with like some other stuff. Fever 333 is the name of them. There was another one that I sent you that I'm forgetting the name of that I actually liked more than either of the two that I sent that I just mentioned. Let me see if I can go back and find it. I might have actually posted it in the music channel of our Discord. I post a lot in there. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, I must not have posted it in there. Shit. So that means I gotta find it in our chat. Oh, shit. Really?
While you're doing that, I should also mention that just today, even
I found it!
I've become good.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I would say Indixt. I don't know for sure. It's spelled Indighxst. But they have a song out called Pyromance that came out last year that's fucking great. I love this song. And I've listened to their other stuff and I really like almost all of it. And the problem, which I know you've experienced this with like Ravenface Mosaic and stuff, is that I just want more. Like they don't have enough of a library for me to really fully appreciate their stuff, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that like there's a lot in this playlist that I really like. But yeah, the playlist name is Voices for the Unheard. Be sure to check it out. Like literally the description of it is when they don't give us center stage, we build our own. Check out this powerful playlist featuring people of color alternative artists. So there you go. Alternative artists of color. And then I had a Rise Against kick this month. Um, Another, again, woman of color, Willow fucking Smith. Will Smith's daughter, Willow, has basically done another complete genre shift, just like MGK did, and she's making basically pop punk music now, and it's great. It's really, really good. She put out a song called Transparent Soul featuring Travis Barker. It's great. She put out an album called Lately I Feel Everything. It's great. I'm on the top hits and the pop rising playlists. There is even a song on here by her and a dude named Tyler Cole. Never heard of him before. Just found out about him through this, called Meet Me at Our Spot. Apparently, she put out an entire ass album with him called The Anxiety. And it's great too. Like it's 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 genuinely just great music. I love it. I mean, speaking of MGK, God, I've been listening to him so much lately. And really not most of him, just his fucking Tickets to My Downfall album that he put out last year. That again is his first big foray into the pop punk genre. I love pop punk. It's like my favorite genre. So like the more artists that I can find that make the type of music that I like, the happier I am. If I can't have Love I Want Power, Halsey. I have her album. I've listened to a few songs from it. Haven't gotten far because the day that I wanted to listen to it, there was a lot of shit going on, and then I kind of forgot about it afterwards. I want to listen to more of it though. Conan Gray. I actually have had like a Conan Gray kick earlier this month. He's got some good stuff out. People Watching is a really good song. Wish You Were Sober is a really good song. He's got some really good stuff out. What? There's a new song by a band called Mainskin. I think that's how it's pronounced. It might be pronounced differently than that. But they did a cover of Beggin' by Madcon, and I love the original song. I hate their cover of it. But they put out another new song lately called I Wanna Be Your Slave. It's fucking amazing. I sent this to you. I posted this in the Discord. I was obsessed with this song when I first discovered it. It is so good and it's so different. It's unlike anything I've ever heard of before, and I love it. So music wise, I think that about covers it. I did have like a weird Chainsmokers phase for like a couple days earlier on this month. Didn't last very long. And yeah, that's about it. That's about everything for the month. As far as like TV and movies and stuff, though, honestly, dude, I don't really watch TV shows other than South Park that I'm not like actively watching with you. Like the stuff that I watch is either South Park with my mom or the stuff that we watch together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's like Doom Patrol Titans, MCU stuff. You know, and that's really the extent of it. As far as movies, I don't think I've watched any new movies this month. Just a lot of rewatches. Like I've rewatched like Big Lebowski and stuff like that. Nice Guys. I fucking love The Nice Guys. That movie's so fucking good. I literally like I watched The Big Lebowski with my mom, and then the next day she brought it up out of nowhere. Like that was such a fun movie last night, and I was like, you know, there's a newer movie that has really similar energy to that one called The Nice Guys, and we watched it that night, and we both loved it. In my case, again, in her case, it might have been the first time she's seen it. I love that movie though; it's so fucking good. It really does have similar energy to Lebowski, though, doesn't it, John?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I love it. Um, yeah, I think that about covers it for me. I really most of my watch time, like if I'm watching content, 80% of the time, and this is exclusively talking about me when I'm not watching stuff with you, my watch time is like 80% YouTube. I'm a YouTube watcher big time. Um, I watch all kinds of tech YouTube. You already know Thought Slime, Professor Flowers, Melina Pendulum. Um, God, who else? Natalie Gold, Holden Hartman. I kind of into him a little bit, not really as much. I just one of my favorite things to like, and John, I think I've already told you this, and I told my mom this a long time ago. One of my favorite things to do, and this is such a weird random thing, but for me, some of the most joy that I find in life is sharing things that I love with people I care about and them enjoying it then. Like basically sharing what I love with people who enjoy the things almost as much as I do, or even as much as I do. Like that is like one of my favorite experiences in life. So another sort of substitute for that, when I can't actively be doing that, I love watching people discover things that I love. So I love watching like people listening to songs I like for the first time and seeing their reactions, or watching shows or movies or like MCU stuff for the first time and seeing their reactions, or watching like that kind of stuff. I love experiencing other people's first times enjoying things that I already love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like one
Absolutely.
of my favorite things to do. I love it. So that's like another thing that I'm a big fan of. Keeping up with all my favorite streamers, ex Chocobars, Sykkuno, Ludwig. Dude, I don't know if you'd even want to watch this, but I personally really want to watch. Yesterday, there was a big Twitch streamer kickball tournament that Ludwig organized. And it was like there was an offline TV team, there was a 100 Thieves team, there was a team that Ludwig was like the leader of that had like Seer on it and Myth, TSM Myth, and fucking all these different people that I've seen stream video games, but I've never seen do anything active. And here they are on a fucking baseball field playing kickball, and I'm like, I need to see this. I need to watch this. Um, of course, keeping up with the offline TV people, as I just mentioned OTV being part of the kickball tournament. I'm a big fan of them as well. I think that about covers it. Of course, we've had, since I mentioned Professor Flowers, there's been that whole fucking drama with her and Vosh. Fuck Vosh. Um, God, I think that about covers it, though. Yeah. Am I forgetting anything, John? You would probably know just as well as. Oh, you know what? I will mention actually, a female comedy duo that I discovered through TikTok called Sid and Olivia have put out a podcast. They're 2 episodes in so far, and it is great. They are so entertaining. I love their comedy. They are so fucking funny. So yet another YouTube subscription that puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And yeah, I think that's it. I think that covers. Oh, games, I guess. I tell you what. Let me do this actually. Instead of telling you what games I've played, because that's just a list of all the same games that I play every fucking month, plus Golden Sun, I guess, because I did play that briefly with you. Um, I want to make a list of games that I want to not only play but beat when my mom and I move, because I feel like it would be a huge list. Because it's not just like, oh, I want to replay Golden Sun and beat it and its sequels and stuff. I want to play through the entirety of like 3 or 4 different franchises. Like, I want to play all the Final Fantasy games. I want to play all the Dragon Quest games. I want to play all the Pokemon games from the beginning. I want to play all of the Legend of Zelda games from the beginning. Like, I've got ambitions, man.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
It
Absolutely.
just feels like there's never enough time in the day, though. It's so sad and depressing.
It really is, yeah.
I think that covers it, though. I'm done rambling. We can move on to our next question.
All right. Next question.
Next question from Super Blue, or I'm sorry, from Rotten Butter is our second question. And I already sent you this, so you already knew about it. And that was one of his requests about this. He said, the top 5 richest men on earth die and leave their money to you two. This is over $500 billion. What do you do with it?
I actually did think a lot about this. And, my thought process was like, well, I could do the personal stuff, like big, like, because really, I know Ash and I have talked about this before, where like all I would really care to buy would be like a big library and maybe like a swimming pool. That's literally fucking it. Like, I'm really just in want of nothing. I like how my life is for the most part. But then if you're thinking about doing like meaningful structural change, how do you do that, right, with the political class the way that it is? Because even if you donate, like say I try and donate money to a community directly, it's always going to have to be managed by some political entity, right? Even if it's like a governor or something, being like, oh, well, I have to see how these resources are allocated. So to me, if I have, because it's $500 billion, right? Just to be clear. So it's like $500 billion is what that comes out to.
That's $500 billion. Yeah, exactly.
I would, like, totally bold-faced, unironically, I would buy politicians. I would cut out the
Dude,
middleman, and I would buy my own
I
political
had
class.
the exact same thought. I literally, when I read this, one of my first thoughts was, I would buy Congress. Are you kidding me? Like, that was literally one of my first thoughts.
Because why would I try and finance? Because here's the thing. You could finance projects independently, but you're going to get a lot of fucking resistance, right? But if I buy politicians, not only do I make sure that my projects go through a pipeline considerably easier, because for me it's a two-pronged strategy personally. You buy politicians currently in the seats of power, but then you groom your own next generation with your backing, because we know time and again money wins elections.
Yep.
The most recent election that made this clear to me, I don't
Kentucky,
even remember the other woman's.
Or no, not
well,
Kentucky.
Was Kentucky? Well, I was gonna say whatever race Nina Turner lost, because you and I had a big conversation about that.
Yeah,
because Nina Turner was polling ahead. She was actually fucking winning. Like, that's the thing. She was winning, and then they like Democratic caucuses, like an Israel super PAC, like all these places just started dumping money in the opposition. Who, again, I don't even remember her name. That's how forgettable the fucking Dem candidates are. They sent out pamphlets like lying that like, oh, you know, Nina Turner's against Medicare for all and like all this shit. And, you know, that they just poured so much into a fucking smear campaign. And it's like, wow, you know, that's really fucked, right? So obviously you'd want to buy the political machinery that already exists. But when I'm talking about grooming candidates for the next generation, it's like I would take the most progressive people and I'd be like, I'm going to give you all the money you need to win, because money wins elections every time. And if we can out-message them, we fucking win. So it's a two-prong of getting existing politicians so that I get the projects underway now, but then ensuring the next generation of my projects to make sure that another administration couldn't come in and be like, oh, we're going to retcon all this shit. It's a two-pronged strategy. You own the politicians. If you pretty much own the political machinery, which I use as an all-encompassing term to include the politicians, you own the fucking world. Like, so yeah, absolutely, the political class, both current and up-and-coming. That would be where I'd put all my money, because then everything else would be so fucking easy. Are you kidding me? Like, getting Flint clean water. Why even try and go directly and buy them clean water when I could get legislation passed through my political pipeline? Rebuilding Iraq, again, same fucking thing. Ending hunger, homelessness, same fucking thing. Everything is political, so you own the political machinery and you fucking win. It's that simple.
Yeah, I think you would also have to buy a news outlet or two to make sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bloomberg did. Bloomberg owns a fucking newspaper. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Not a paper, a TV show, like CNBC, NBC, that kind of shit.
Well, I'll just be all-encompassing on that too. Yeah, you should obviously own television media, but like media as well. Get in on all that. Get your own newspaper. Get a fucking television. Like, don't neglect any form of media. No, I do agree with you on that. You should have TV, fucking newspaper. If radio was still a popular thing, I'd say get our own fucking radio. And might as well be podcasts, right? I'd want to get my own fucking podcast on the biggest podcast distributor, whether it was fucking Spotify or whatever, Apple, whatever the fuck. Not Apple, iTunes. That's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
iTunes. You know,
you look at what podcasts are doing the best. You do your best to try and sort of copy the elements of those that make them successful. The elements that they have in common that make them successful. You platform people who fucking deserve it, and you shoot them to the fucking moon with your goddamn advertising. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like it's
Damn.
yeah, like that's what I'm saying is like you at that point, because like dude, 500 billion. I mean, even if it was less than that, even if it was 100 billion, you realize that island that we were looking at for TWitWoW Island was only like 230 million. We could buy that, and it would be a drop in the bucket. We could buy that. We could buy infrastructure. We could literally make our own little nation state on an island and run it our way. And in the meantime, we could also be dabbling in US politics, buying politicians, buying news networks, spreading our propaganda, actually telling people things that are true rather than all the lies that are spread through actual media right now. And of course, we would be improving the country while we were doing it, while living in our own little paradise on TWitWoW Island.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it.
Like and like the thing is, obviously, we wouldn't want to stop at just controlling the US government. We would want to take it a lot further than that. We would want to help people worldwide that aren't in the US. We would want to literally just give money, give food, give resources to the needy countries that don't have that kind of stuff, help them along, and we would have plenty of money to do it, because you and I talk about this all the time. Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they have the resources to end world hunger yesterday. And every day that they choose not to do that, it's an evil decision on their part.
Oh, dude, I mean, you're talking about like helping other countries if we consolidated some form of power. I've already talked about that YouTuber Car that like I'm really digging. I've already sent you 2 of his videos. The one video I sent you is like a good introduction because it's so short on Haiti. Like Haiti got fucked over hard because it's not just that they're like plagued by natural disasters, or exacerbated by man-made climate change. It's that, their political positioning ever since the Haitian Revolution, casting off the French colonizers. The French actually came back. I don't know if they teamed up with the U.S. or Britain, or they teamed up with some other like power. And they're like, oh, well, you owe us this debt because of property damage. It's pretty much running back the Larry Elder argument that I told you recently. Like, oh, our property and stuff, our standing was damaged, so you owe us this money. Yeah. So Haiti has a debt that hasn't been called off. I think certain French administrations have canceled some of the debt, but not all of it. I still think they have some debt if I understood Carr correctly. And it does suffer from corrupt government. We have to be nuanced in our analysis. I don't like leftists that are uncritically like worship the Soviet Union, say. We've always got to be honest about what governments are. Haiti government is not good. Their president was assassinated recently, actually. So that's really unstable. But if you give directly to the Haitian people, that does a lot more than, what's that term? Foreign aid, I think is the term. Yeah. There's some term that I think is a lie to me, but foreign aid doesn't really work because it goes to these corrupt bodies and the way it's managed, it's horribly mismanaged. Yeah. But if you give directly to the Haitian people, the townspeople, the churches, this and that, it's a lot more effective. So I would want us to do like mutual aid, but at the ground level to the fucking people and not with like, the governments or whatever. So that's definitely something I'd be down for. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I love that you and I had the same thought though about just going for the politicians because that literally makes anything else we'd want to do.
Well, no, dude, that literally anyway. Like that. It's like you're not rich until you can buy your first politician. Like that's literally what it is in this country. Is like you are okay. You're rich, but like that's just because like you have a nice house, you have a pool, you have a nice dog, you have a nice family, you live in a nice gated community, you have a good high-paying job. But are you really rich if you can't afford to buy a politician yet? No, you're really not.
To me, I'll put it this way, even if it's hyperbolic and possibly even ignorant. If you can own your own sports team, cool, but I look at that as like a dick waving thing. When you can own a politician, then you're telling me that you are almost mythological with your wealth. Yeah. Like, that's,
Honestly, dude,
absolutely.
I hate to say this, but politicians are cheaper than sports teams.
You know what? You're right. But I guarantee you, like, even if they're cheaper, which is just better for us down the line, like, we could shape the world a lot quicker with a bunch of politicians in our pocket than like, a bunch of sports teams.
After you and I are done doing, or obviously we would never be done, but after we're satisfied with the amount of fixing of the world that we would try and do, if we had a few bill left over, I probably would want to buy a sports team.
And like I said, for me, I would just want to retire on a nice plot of land.
Oh, absolutely.
Biggest library that could save me, and just
totally get that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you already know how I feel about the NFL and the structures and everything.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And in fact, like, beyond the global systemic, like, structural inequities and all that stuff that you and I would redress with our wealth, if I had any left over, I totally would pour it into communities and, like, humanities-based organizations to kind of, like, revitalize a sense of culture, art, music, stuff like that in America. Because I'd like us to have a renaissance before I fucking die, but that's not fucking happening.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is, like, I was even thinking, like, obviously we would want to buy the politicians so that they stop making stupid decisions. But we don't know what the best decisions would necessarily be constantly either. So what I would really want to do is I would want to fund research. I would want to fund scientists. I would want to fund all kinds of different research on the best way to do certain things. And I would want to try and take those and run with them because obviously we would be aiming for unbiased results. We're not trying to, get like cherry picked information. We're not trying to be like those government grants where it's like, we need this information by now. And if you can't get it to us, you don't get your money. We would be like, here, take the money, do the research, tell us what your results are. And it would be completely unbiased, hopefully. And we would be able to take that and run with it, and we'd be able to make decisions based on that research because we're men of science, We're not trying to convince people that green is blue for the sake of our own pockets. We are fine. We don't need help with our pockets. We're good. We have $500 billion. That's the whole point of the question, right?
Oh, absolutely. Because it's amazing how much policy really is ideologically motivated. And I do think ideology pervades everywhere in one form or another. But at the same time, like, I'll give you just an economic example. Most economists, even though that I guess would regard themselves as capitalist, believe in like open borders. This whole idea of like nationalist border policies and stuff, they're like, that's economically unsound because you want goods and stuff to pass through as easily as possible.
Right.
And so open borders, it's good for the labor force, good for economies, blah, blah, blah. That's one thing
Oh yeah,
libertarians
dude, we would finally have an opportunity to pass our what did we call it? Fuck. What did we call it? Something capitalism. We wanted to call it something
capitalist
capitalism.
capitalist populism,
No, no,
populist
no, 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 no,
capitalism.
no. No, one night we came up with an awesome like fake name for a type of basically communism that we would call something capitalism that I forget what we called it.
Well, because I know we really clung on to the word populist, but I guess we found something
No,
different.
no,
But
no,
that's
no.
what I'm forgetting.
We found something way better because populist is already like a political term. We don't want to go there. I forget what it was though. Fuck. Oh, that's frustrating. What was it? Um, I I want to say it was like working class capitalism. It wasn't that. It was like, oh my god. I feel horrible because I forget. Worker capital? No, it wasn't that either. We
Wasn't
basically
proletariat capitalism?
no, no,
No.
no, dude. I really wish this would just go off in one of our heads because I know we came up with this at one point. Oh, that's so frustrating. I feel like I might have said it in the square the politics channel on our Discord, but I might not have.
Let me check.
Oh yeah, maybe it was populist capitalism.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
I
Okay,
remember us really
it
going
was
there.
populist capital. Okay. God, I feel like the term populist has just become so politicized now that I would almost want to change it again. But yeah, like we basically we came up with the idea to come up with a fancy new name for it that we would basically be going with the same kind of ideas of like, control of the means of production being in the people's hands rather than in corporations and CEOs' hands. But we would call it like populist or worker or consumer or whatever capitalism and basically use that as like our big propaganda point of like, no, no, guys, capitalism, we've been doing it wrong all along. We actually need to try this out and do this and just get it to go that way.
Yeah, exactly. Foster, can y'all do something about the police too? Yeah, abolish
them.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thought, same time. Absolutely. Yeah, we are on the same page about all this. I'm loving
Which
this.
is why us consolidating our wealth for the actual trillion would just be so fucking delicious.
Well, I assume that half trillion is combined between the two of us.
Damn, even so though, like, would do so much damage.
Yeah. And you've also got to remember it was over half a trillion.
Yeah. And here's the thing too. When you buy politicians and you get the political infrastructure, you're pretty much safeguarding your wealth too. Like, I'm pretty sure you'd have wealth coming in just to keep financing your projects. It's not like that half a trillion is in stasis,
Yeah.
It's not like it's like this static number that isn't going to change.
Yeah.
We would ensure that it goes up if we own the political machinery. So
yeah, let me actually, dude, I found a website on Forbes actually, real-time billionaires list, and it has net worth. So let's see, Musk is worth 199.8 bill. Bezos is 191.5 bill. Bernard Arnault and family are worth 173.3 bill. Gates is worth 128.4 bill. And Zuckerberg is worth 121.4 bill. So we're actually looking at over 800 billion, not just 500 billion.
Damn. Oof.
So yeah, we would be able to fix a lot. And like I said, I'd be able to afford to buy a sports team. I don't know which one I would buy. I'd probably buy like an ailing team, like a team that has just had a history of suck. Maybe I'd buy the Lions. The Detroit Lions would be my pet project, and I would try my best to make it a completely analytics focused team. Bring in all the best analytics minds, sports minds, of course, from around the country, maybe even from around the world, and have like super progressive young analytics minded coaches and like analytics driven scouting, like everything. Like it would be a mathematician's wet dream, and it would just be amazing and wonderful. And I would just we would throw so many passes, and there would be so little running, and man, it would just be so fun to just dominate the entire league for years before they finally caught on to what we were doing.
I feel like you didn't get completely swept up in the fantasy, but I can hear in your voice your feet leaving the ground there. Like, God, there'd be so much passing, no running. One day, NFL, you'll be mine. Damn, that was intense. It was beautiful, but it was intense.
We would throw the ball 80% of the time in the first half, go up by 30 points, and then just run the ball 80% of the time in the second half. So that if you just look at the numbers, you see, oh, they are a very balanced run-pass team. They're 50-50. But in reality, we pass to score. We run to win.
Yeah. There you go. And I'm just the fucking nerd that I'm like, well, time to revitalize culture as we know it. And I'm just going to dump
yes.
into like any humanity.
No, dude, I would love that though, because like my shit is so mundane and trivial, whereas yours actually matters.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, because dude, here's my thing. Again, going
the
back
real
to,
focus would be on fixing the world. The tertiary maybe at best focus for me would be the reviving the Lions from the dead.
I would be indulgent too, because the most indulgent thing, I want an indoor pool. Like, absolutely, I want an indoor
pool.
Dude,
we both do. That would be our indoor pool. We would buy a mansion together for sure.
Fuck yeah. But dude, like,
our families would both have homes in it. Like my mom, my grandma, my aunt, her boyfriend and his family, her daughter and her family, they would all be able to live in the same house. And we would, of course, be able to afford cleaners to be able to make sure that the whole entire building stayed spick and span. We didn't have to worry about it. Maybe we would hire personal chefs to be able to cook for everyone in the house, so no one in the house would ever have to worry about cooking again. But they could if they wanted to. If they decided they want to cook, go for it. We're not going to stop you. And your family, of course, your sister and her husband, everyone could come. It would be amazing. It would be wonderful. Hell, even if you wanted to bring like Angel and Amanda or whatever, or was it Amanda?
Yeah. She's
bring them. I don't care. It's we're getting a mansion, man. It's huge.
So
plenty of room to fill.
I have two things to say to this. One, I love how we'd be dunking. Like, I could just imagine a Bezos, as we've kept him alive slowly without his net worth. Hey, Bezos,
no. The whole thing is that the top 5 billionaires die and we get their net worth.
Yeah. Well, but
maybe, that's the question.
I could just think to myself, Bezos had a yacht within a yacht, but we have a home within a home, and then the mansion like opens up for like a second home or whatever. Like, yes.
Like, dude, like, what was it? Gavin Belson, was it? Gavin in Silicon Valley, where he had his garage inside his garage.
Yes, exactly. But the second thing is, like, we're playing such a smart game, because here's the thing. When you own the political machinery and you're doing the kind of stuff that we do, obviously we'd form alliances with governments that already don't have like human rights violations, stuff like that.
I mean, we would aim to unite them, really.
So here's the big thing, just as an example. When I think about how much you and I would advance science and medicine, because you and I have been like, God, if we could just remove the blockades to like stem cell and reproductive rights and all this, like we would advance so quickly. Cuba sends their doctors all over the world. I would want to fund Cuba and be like, hey, can you help us with the medical stuff? And we would form alliances which would take off some of the costs on our backs. When you team up with other economies, you have access to other modes of wealth. It's not like all coming out of our we play the game so fucking smart.
Oh my God.
And it pisses me off that we can't actually play it. And it just sucks, because I'm like, it's
this
so
conversation
possible.
Makes me want to learn how to and play Risk.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, holy
I know it's
shit.
not the exact same as what we're doing, or really not anything close, but it's like this whole idea of just like conquering the world.
Yeah. But then it's like,
in our case, it's benevolent conquering. They're fine.
Yeah. Look, because you know the fucking rightist factions would drum up this like faux outrage, be like, we want democracy now,
and rather than treating them the way that they would treat us, which is with firing squads, we'll be benevolent to them too. We won't even throw them in jail. We'll just let them do their thing. We will spread our talking points. We will make them feel really fucking stupid about themselves, and hopefully they'll just go away eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I would still be snarky about it. I would still sip from my chalice You didn't even know democracy until we came along. Sip. And then it's like, well, what are you going to do to us? Nothing. You're that little of a threat. That's good victory.
Everyone
Yeah.
everyone who has been donating to our Patreon would get their sum total of patron donations back plus 4 zeros.
Hell yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Oh God, this is really getting me excited. But I think this is probably one of the most substantively answered questions in a minute. So I'm ready to move on to the next question or next set of questions.
To be fair, the final question from Rotten Butter is literally just, "Are you a god?"
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, after that second question, I kind of feel like one.
Yeah, there you go. Feels fucking great, doesn't it?
All right, man. Being rich makes you feel so powerful, doesn't it?
God, I know. Oh God, I'm so thankful that this question actually fed my best tendencies after the whole what did you do this month showed that I really have been feeding my worst, and it's like a bag of chips. You can't have just one. So
it's funny though, because when I read "Are You a God," it made me think of that Vertical Horizon song. "You're a God" or "I'm a God" or whatever. You're a God and I am. Yeah, that's a cool song, but it made me think of that. That's the only thing, because I know his third questions are always some kind of pop culture reference, so I immediately thought of that.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, final set of questions are from Alex Foster, and I literally haven't even looked at these. John, first question is for you. Vince decides to let John Morrison be world champ. If he got a worldwide underground-like faction, who do you want to be in the group?
Obviously, you'd call Frankie up and you'd have her.
Yeah, I think that might actually happen, ironically.
As far as the tag team you'd get,
God,
I would do Shane Thorne.
Ooh.
And
I love that. I didn't expect you to pick someone perfect. What?
I would do Shane Thorne. Well, I'm probably going to lose you with my next pick, admittedly, but I would do Shane Thorne. And if I wanted to appease WWE, I would do Austin Theory just to kind of keep it somewhat grounded. But if I would do what I want, I would do either Mace or T-Bar for the muscle.
Yeah.
And push the fucking shit out of him.
I think Mace makes more sense because he and Thorne are really
I agree,
tight.
actually. I agree. Yeah. I love Mace's look. I think him doing an air guitar with Morrison would be a fucking great visual. But yeah,
God,
Mace,
yes.
Shane Thorne, Morrison, Frankie Monet would be my ideal Worldwide Underground. If I had to play ball with WWE, I'd swap out Mace with Austin Theory, so you kind of have a homogeneity going on there. But I'd want Mace in that fucking shit ideally. So
would you have a fifth member or just those four?
Oh right, because Worldwide Underground was 5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh fuck. I'll be fully frank and I didn't think that far. You know what? Fuck it. At that point, you could put in Theory, and I wouldn't mind as much. Who?
Mansoor.
I like that. We're going with that. Mansoor's perfect.
Because he's part of the same group that Mace and Thorne are a part of.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can dig that. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. I dig it. Second question is just for me. He said, so far, what are your thoughts and hype level for Legends Arceus? I am very excited about that game. It looks like a lot of fun. That is maybe even the game that will maybe eventually, when I can afford it, get me to buy a Switch. I don't know. It's very possible. I've been talking to my mom about how much I want a Switch, and I don't think I would get a full Switch. I think I would just go for a Switch Lite. But it depends financially how things work out. Basically, if the U.S. passes $15 minimum wage, I might actually be able to afford a full-blown Switch because that would put me in a really good position financially. It would make me much more comfortable financially. And, we have a really nice TV now, so a full-blown Switch that I can play on the TV would probably be really nice, actually. It would be really cool for me to be able to use. But there are so many Switch games that I want to play now. Smash Ultimate, obviously. Odyssey, obviously. Pokemon Sword and Shield, obviously. Pokemon Snap, the new Pokemon Snap, obviously. But now, Pokemon Legends Arceus is coming out, and we're getting the remakes of Diamond and Pearl. I just feel like there's so... And, the Legend of Zelda. Even Breath of the Wild. I've never played Breath of the Wild, John.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never played any of the Zelda games, so I'm right there with you.
I
Honestly.
have, and I loved some of the ones that I've played, but I've never played Breath of the Wild, and I feel like that's right up my alley. Like it just looks so good. I just want to play it so bad. Like this, Twitch is the console since the GBA that I have the most games interested in playing. Like GBA was the last console that came out that I was interested in playing more than like 5 or 6 games on. Because every console that's come out since then, it's been, anywhere from 4 to 6 games for most consoles. GBA, it was.
I
like
want to tell you, it was
plus.
adorable. It was adorable. I think you said Twitch was the best console. I know you meant Switch, but I thought that was precious. You said
Oh,
Twitch.
I didn't even realize I
So.
did that. But yeah, Switch. But yeah, like GBA, I had like 10 plus games that I played regularly. Everything else that's come out since then, it's been under 7, under 6 maybe even. And now Switch, I'm at like 9, 10, maybe 11, 12. Like it's up there. There are a lot. So Switch might just be the next Switch. Here's what I'm actually gonna say. Switch might legitimately end up being the first console that I buy since Wii. I bought the Wii as soon as I could because I wanted to play Brawl. That was a mistake, but I still really enjoyed like Brawl and the Fire Emblem games for the Wii. And there were probably other things that I'm forgetting, but yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and it was plus, I obviously was able to play GameCube games then on the Wii, and that was a lot of fun too. I played Melee more than Brawl probably, because it's a better game. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Switch will probably end up being the first console that I buy since the Wii, and the only other console that I've owned, the non-Nintendo, like the most recent non-Nintendo console that I've owned was a PS2. So that's how far back that goes.
Just to kind of tag on, because I know earlier you participated in the kids game, so I know this is like more for you. But I will say, you know how disconnected for years outside of like really casual stuff, I've been with games. Like I would not describe myself as a gamer at all in the sense of like in-game culture, buying all the latest stuff. However, the closest I came to really participating in, it's funny you mentioned the Switch because it had a similar effect on me. I'll never forget the first time I saw the Mario Odyssey trailer. Oh my God, dude, it looks so gorgeous and fun. I'm like, I want to be in that world. And I'll tell you, if Switch wants to break me and get me to not buy something other than like books, dental supplies, and like, other adult shit, if you come out with a fresh Banjo-Kazooie game for the Switch, I'm fucking there.
Wait,
I am so...
what if they remaster Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie for the Switch?
That would be close. That would be close, and I'd still consider it. But I think if you want to push me over the edge, you come up with a new game originally.
I don't think that's
Switch.
ever going to happen because Rare, like the original team, isn't around anymore.
The original team isn't around anymore. Yeah, I know there were some like former members of Rare that did ukulele. I don't know if we could maybe get them back for like one more thing.
Yeah,
but
I've heard that was like really disappointing relative.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it doesn't even have to be the old team. Sometimes new is good. But I would want to see what they could come up with for the Switch because I know like the 360 Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which I've actually seen some pretty nice video essays defending the game when you get over your original bias of what like Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2 were. So I'd like to see what they could do for the Switch. I'd be hyped as fuck for it. I would probably throw down the money.
Yeah.
Actually, we already
wasn't
have
there
a
Banjo-Kazooie game that came out for GBA that was like called Grunty's Revenge or something?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Did you ever play that?
No, I never played it, but it seemed like it had a cool premise.
So you'd be interested
in goes back to the
that.
past. Yeah, probably for sure. I'd be curious about it.
Yeah, I'd be curious about it too.
Yeah.
We should play that one night.
But yeah, if they ever came out with like an original Banjo-Kazooie game for this, I'd be so fucking sold. Because I'm excited too that they're bringing stuff like from N64 like into their library. Because I think that remaster you were talking about is happening actually. Either a remaster or it's
really
be on. Yeah, it's either going to be like a remaster or they're just going to be on there to play. Like almost like I don't know if port's the right word, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of.
port.
Like,
that would be the right word.
But yeah, I just played Disco Elysium. I've heard of that game. Amazing writing with a lot of political society. Yeah, I've seen that advertised like in the Steam store. I think that's where I've seen it because I know I've looked up like other like philosophical puzzle games because like Talos Principle was my shit for a time. And yeah, Disco Elysium. In fact, we're talking games. You know what? I don't even know what the original question was, but I just want to throw my 2 cents. If you want to move on to the next question, we can.
The original question was, what are your thoughts and hype level for Legends Arceus? For me, it was a Pokemon.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, we got a little sidetracked. I've actually seen the trailer for it, And it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I'll say that too. Like I really like the concept of it.
It
Actually,
really is interesting looking. I love how different it feels from the core games. It's like I almost have to wonder if they're gonna like turn it into a franchise. Like you have Legends Arceus, then maybe you have Legends Rayquaza or Legends Deoxys or Legends Yveltal or whatever, Legends Kyurem. I don't know. Legends Zygarde could be interesting, like that kind of stuff. Like I feel like maybe they would like run with that. Like Legends Mewtwo even would probably be an even higher selling game than Legends Arceus, honestly. Um, but yeah, the whole idea that it's like it's a new region, they're actually introducing new Pokemon in a non-core series game, which I think might be the first time that's ever happened, or at least one of the first time that's ever happened. And they're introducing new forms that are like exclusive to that region, which is really exciting too. It's really cool to see them invested this much in more of like an adult oriented version of a Pokemon game. It's very exciting to me for sure.
yeah, absolutely,
All right, do we want to move on to our third question from Foster?
absolutely.
In kayfabe, if Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville are running both shows, then who the hell is drafting the wrestlers?
Oh God. Wouldn't it just be the corporations or like
It's
the
the
networks of
networks.
USA
Yeah,
and Fox
it's the
themselves?
networks.
Yeah,
That's what it is. That's the way they play it off for sure.
yeah.
I'll never forget that first draft back in 2019 when Fox drafted Natalia and they were so fucking happy. They showed the dudes in the room jumping up and down and hugging.
Yeah, you're really telling on yourselves. Like, simmer down. It ain't that deep.
Natalia! Natalia!
Yeah.
All right. Fourth question. What Attitude Era / Ruthless Aggression Era wrestlers would you guys like to see as surprise Rumble entrants? Didn't we just get Carlito like last year or something like that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know who.
Mr. Kennedy, if he's willing and able.
Kennedy is honestly a really great answer. I really like that.
If we're talking
Kazarni,
Attitude
maybe.
Era, since we kind of had a Brood tease with Edge, I wouldn't mind seeing Gangrel in a Rumble.
I wouldn't either. Yeah, Kennedy, Gangrel. The weakest answer I can come up with again is like a Kazarni or something, but I really don't fucking know. Maybe Tajiri if he's up for it.
He would be a great pop for sure. Like I feel like he would get a really big reaction. Like the way that people loved Hurricane, I feel like they kind of feel similarly about Tajiri.
Yeah. I would pop just to see him miss someone in the face, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, get in there, kick a few people, lock in a tarantula, miss someone, eliminate that person, and then get eliminated yourself. That's all he would need to do, and it would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Can you think of anyone else? I'm trying, man.
Tajiri, Kennedy, Gangrel.
I really like Tajiri. I think that's my favorite answer of the ones that we came up with combined.
I had to contribute something because I thought you made me look really bad with Kennedy. I'm like, shit, that's a really good answer.
D'Lo Brown. Oh no, he's working for TNA. Damn.
Oh, that would have been a great one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there are other answers, but having a hard time thinking of someone that can still move reasonably well enough to do that.
You know, if I didn't see an interview with him that said during his time in WWE he got treated like shit, especially by The Undertaker, and increasingly it becomes fuck Undertaker every day. Rene Dupree would have been another pick for me. He could get a new Fifi.
Mark Jindrak, since you bring up Rene Dupree, Mark Jindrak would be amazing to see come back. I mean, really, he could make his return at a Rumble and stick around because he's great.
Yeah, oh God, the reflection of perfection, Mark Jindrak. I was here for that shit.
He's found so much success in Mexico as Marco Corleone. He's still really he's gotten so good actually. Like I know he was never good in the ring in WWE, but he's gotten there big time. He's really impressive in the ring now.
You know what I'd pop for, even if it was just for we're just talking about Rumble returns, so that implies one night. I'd want to see the kind of reaction Muhammad Hassan would get if his music.
There's no way. I don't think he would even agree to it, honestly.
I don't think he would either, because I think he's a principal at like a middle school now somewhere. Maybe even an elementary school. He wouldn't want to do that. And you know what? Good for the man, because God knows how much honestly, and I say this totally unironically, I am so happy that he got out of the business and the whole Muhammad Hassan thing is pretty much faded from the public consciousness before Twitter and shit became a thing. Because God knows what they would have put that man through if social media was back then what it is now. Like, I am so thankful he got out of that shit unscathed. But yeah, like, ideally, if we could all like not lose our shit and everything in a negative way, I'd be curious what kind of pop he'd get.
You know what, dude? I feel like we're far enough removed from Tensai that A-Train could come back at this point and make a Royal Rumble appearance.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. I'd be here for that. All right. Was that Foster's last question, or was that like fourth question? Where
penultimate. We've got our final question yet, which is, what's the first thing you would do if you learned our lives were a TV show?
Oh, God, I turned the fuck up even more than usual. That would be so unsafe for everyone else. God. I'd probably never wear clothes again unless it was really cold.
I mean, the thing is, though, like, our lives might be a TV show, but, like, all of the rules and laws of the TV show that have always applied would still apply.
Yeah. So
like,
I
just
guess
because we've gained knowledge of the fact that it's a TV show doesn't mean that actors are going to break kayfabe to make it not happen anymore, you know?
That is true, because they'd intervene if I tried to go too far off script. Same with you.
Yeah.
So I guess then at that point, I would just resist at every possible turn until I got quote unquote cut from the show, not brought back for another season, which probably would either be death or maybe even something worse. I don't know. I do like that answer, by the way. I don't think it would change anything for me. Oh, London. Oh, wait, what was that?
I said I don't think it would change anything for me. If I find out that our lives are a TV show, I'm like, I would probably give it a good hard think of like, okay, what do I do with this information? And just arrive at the conclusion of like, nothing. There's nothing I can do with this information because there's nothing I can do to stop it. There's nothing that I can do now that I'm aware of this that can make my life significantly better that I couldn't have done before. Like, I just don't see a difference here.
But see, I have to push back a little bit because it's not necessarily that you're wrong. But I come to find that when you have information like that or something akin to that, you can make all the rationalizations of like why not acting is best. But I almost feel like it's a human impulse to act, because it's not like you could just go to bed with that knowledge and like not do anything, even if you have this rationalization of like, oh, doing this thing ultimately amounts to nothing. I feel like it would almost be a compulsion to do something with that knowledge, even if it was, I don't know, changing the flow of dialogue with a character. Maybe they're trying to guide you to one thing with one character, and you're just like, I don't know, randomly yelling all of a sudden just to really push their buttons. Like, I just feel like resistance would be ingrained in us with information like that. Maybe not to the level that I joked about with like the streaking stuff, but just in those little ways where it's like, you know, because like I just don't know how you go to bed with that information and then wake up like everything's normal when very clearly it's not. And not
dude, the same way that we do now with the way the fucking country is run by fucking billionaires. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's fair to a point, but like we're still affected by it and we still openly talk about it and this and that. And
yeah,
like,
I mean, we would probably talk about like, oh yeah, you're about we're actually in a TV show, and then we're like, oh really? Like, we would talk about it, but we wouldn't like. It's the same thing as everything. We'd be able to talk about it, and we'd be able to have conversations and maybe debates on how to handle it or how it's best to try and end it or whatever, or if we should try and end it or whatever. But at the end of the day, nothing would get done. The same way that nothing gets done to fix the actual problems in the world today.
But see, I have to disagree with you on one small point. I don't even think in those conditions, which I'm not saying are worse than the conditions we're currently in, but they're just different. I don't even know if they would permit those conversations because it's like, well, guys, we have to maintain the illusion.
But it would make for great
just
TV,
like wrestling. I mean, well, that depends. You know, that depends on what they look at as great TV. Like, I think Vince would fire anybody on the spot that just stopped a arrest hold or whatever and said, this is all bullshit. Why are you guys watching this?
Well, right, but
the same way, like if we were talking about like the meta
show, though. This is like, if we found out that we were all in a TV show, nobody would have known about it, which means it's unscripted. So,
I mean, but don't you feel like, because I guess it depends, right? How much of it is like, how much we're inferring from like the Truman Show, where this is all obviously based, because like obviously in that movie things were positioned a certain way, like
right,
the one
but
woman
that was because the whole thing was
interest.
centered around one guy, whereas Foster's saying our lives are a TV show, so it's like almost more like the South Park episode where, you know, they have Channel Earth, that kind of thing. Like, we don't know what's happening. We don't know, like, the people running the show wouldn't necessarily know what's going to be said. They don't plan anything out. They just kind of follow us and watch us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's Q&A.
Yeah.
So let's see. For next month, Q&A will be October 28th, everyone. So get those questions in. Yeah, like the video, subscribe with the bell icon, you know the usual stuff. I'm so excited because tomorrow we're finally getting back to Stardom. Gonna see the fucking 5-star Grand Prix winner. I almost got spoiled because on my tablet I was on Twitter and I thought I saw a tweet from Mark about the 5-star and I real quick clicked out. So I don't think I know who the winner is. Very close though. Just got to hang out a little bit longer. But yeah, I'm really excited to cover that. It's gonna be at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Woohoo! We're
And,
going live early because it's 12 fucking matches.
yeah, oh dude, it's fucking huge. In fact, is it 12? I only counted 10 matches from what I remember. Let me just go on there and see. But yeah, and I'm assuming Ashton too. We're gonna be doing the English commentary to hear Mina on English commentary, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. That should be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's oh yeah, well I think it's 2 dark matches. Yeah, so you're right, it is 12 matches. Holy shit, yeah. 12 matches, guys. That's insane. But I'm so excited to finally get to this. Yeah. Yeah, no, Mark, it's okay because for a long time I wasn't on, but then there was something I had to do on Twitter, something I needed to see. And I did see the image you shared, but I didn't see who it was. I real quick closed out. I have an idea, but I can't 100% prove it. So I'm just excited to see it. I don't care anymore. I just want to watch this fucking show, and then I want to get to 10-9 and do that fucking show. So yeah, I'm happy to be crossing the finish line. Be there tomorrow at 4, guys. And in the meantime, do we want to do our draft video earlier now, since like only a little after 9?
I think we can do 10 instead of 11.
Okay, yeah. Then meet back up with us, guys, in like a little under an hour for our WWE mock draft video. It should be great. I just finished mine today, so hopefully it's a good list. I thought it was pretty realistic and well grounded. You'll have to be the judge yourselves. And with that said, I'm going to actually I can't update Twitter right now because I still want to avoid spoilers. So I'll update Twitter with the new pin tweet as soon as I can. Ashton, you can take us home.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you all enjoyed Q&A this month. If you did, like the video, click the subscribe button and the bell. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch, and if you would like to support us, you can also you can also subscribe to us on Twitch, buy our merch on Spring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities. That's right, we are TWitWoW, and we are the workhorses of the YNTW season. We will be seeing you all yet again later tonight in, like John said, a little under an hour at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for our WWE Fantasy Mock Draft. Basically, us trying to predict / fantasy book the draft that starts tomorrow night at 8 on SmackDown. It's going to be a lot of fun. What basically the rules are, we are sending 10 people to Raw and 10 people to SmackDown from not those promotions or from not those brands. So basically, anyone can go to Raw and anyone can go to SmackDown, but it doesn't really matter where they come from as long as they're within the WWE umbrella. So we can send someone from NXT UK to Raw if we want. We can send someone from 205 Live to SmackDown if we want. We can send someone from Raw to SmackDown if we want. It basically all that matters is 10 people are going to Raw that weren't there before, and 10 people are going to SmackDown that weren't there before. I'm excited about it. John, I know you're excited about it. I'm ready to do this. We will see you all in, now it's 43 minutes or 53 minutes. But of course, in order for that to happen, you're all going to have to remember to stay tuned.